How we doing today, everybody? It is, here we go, wait for it. Finally Friday, free again. Got my motor running full. It's a Friday themed song. You see, I don't know, maybe you haven't heard that song before. That's a blast from the past. It's called Finally Friday. Or maybe you're more familiar with this one. See if you remember this one. Remember this song? Skip ahead. The bus stops. Oh, yes. I haven't heard this song in years. What seat can she take? Gotta get down on Friday. Oh, don't pretend like you didn't sing that song. You listened to it on Kids Bop probably someday. This whole song sounds like it's Kids Bop. How could they put that to Kids Bop? What about this song? One more Friday song. You recognize this one? It doesn't sound good at all. That whole the first like part of that song, and none of that sounded good at all, actually. Songs are so weird when you listen to the lyrics. Okay, welcome to Fuller's 5 Questions. Today, I'm doing the same presentation for all 3 classes, okay? I hope that doesn't bother anybody, but basically I got the same message for all of you, so I figured I would just do one presentation. And so it's AP Psychology, Psychology, and World History. So a couple things. One, last night I did watch the movie 1917. It's a World War I movie. Anybody out there seen it? If you did, what did you think about it? I thought it was phenomenal. I did hear some comments from some people there, like it was boring, and I'm like, whoa, that blew my mind. I can understand it's a little confusing at times, and there is some violence and swearing, so I'm not recommending that you go watch it. But I thought it was an excellent movie, and but it made me miss teaching. It really did, because that's definitely, I wouldn't have shown that whole movie, but I would have shown clips. I would have been like, here is what's going on. It just reminded me of, like, you know, I would have used parts of that, and I just miss being able to do that. So yeah, we're doing the best that we can, but it's not like being there, at least for me. So I'd much rather be in the classroom, seeing all you guys on a regular basis. I said this earlier, but not to all 3 classes. I also saw it last week. I saw the movie Onward. Has anybody ever seen the movie Onward? If you did, I'd love to know what you thought of it. Man, Disney Pixar, I don't know why, they're just so good at making movies that are funny, and I don't know where they're going, and they all tie in the end, and they're like emotional. I'm just like, Disney Pixar, it's a great movie. You haven't seen it, or at least I think. Okay, so let's go here. What do we got today? Yesterday, you guys did such a good job. Yesterday I posted like on all 3 classes, AP Psychology and World History. I posted, here's the list of things that you need to have done. Here's how to get it done. And people did. A lot of people. So we're not 100% caught up yet, but a lot of people did. And the question is, will I still get credit if I turn things? It should say things. If I turn things in late, yes, you'll still get credit. And, you know, I understand. Like sometimes maybe some of you got a late start to this. Some of you are still catching up. And if I don't see a whole lot of progress, I've sent emails to a lot of people, but I'm going to start making phone calls as well. So if you got outstanding stuff, I am probably going to be calling you and your parents to just check in and see how things are going. But you definitely can turn things in late. If you have issues, whatever, I mean, look, the important thing is that you get it done. So please don't just be like, well, it's late, so I'm not going to do it. Do it, because you're going to get credit for doing it. All right. 2, can you stop putting assignments in as missing? My parents get kind of upset. Has that happened to anybody out there? Anybody's parents get upset? As a parent myself, when my student has not turned something in, of course, I get a notification on my phone, and then I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I did. And he tries to explain it. I'm like, but the teacher has it as missing. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he's got an explanation. Now, that might be a similar conversation at your house, because I will put stuff in as missing as well. And I am going to continue to do that. What I would recommend is maybe have a talk with your parents and be like, hey, look, Mr. Fuller put stuff in as missing. If it is missing, I can get it done, but he puts it in as missing so that I know that I have to do it. You might also suggest to your parents, and this is serious here, you might suggest, if they've got an app on their phone to get your grades, that they go and turn the notifications off. Because literally, I mean, if you think about it, if you have brothers or sisters, maybe you have like 5 teachers, maybe you had one brother, one sister, your parents might be getting about 20 to 30 notifications on any given day. And it as a parent, it is kind of like frustrating. And I'm like, what? And I get a little frustrated too, but I am putting it in as missing if it is missing, so then that you know that it's missing, but you still can turn it in and get credit for doing so. Okay. And in general, unless we get to like 3 or 4 weeks late, I'm still going to give you full credit. However, that doesn't mean just like, okay, sit around and not do anything, because the longer you wait, the more it piles up, the harder it gets. So stay caught up to date. It's the easiest thing to do. All right. Where can I go to find my missing assignments? Great question. 1, log into your Infinite Campus and look at the grades. Okay. If it has an E, that means it's exempt. It means like I put it there for you to use. However, you don't have to get that done. I see a lot of people still are, and that makes me very happy. Okay. If it has an M or a number score, it does mean that you need to get it done. And if you're taking a quizzes or a Socrative or whatever else, you need to get above a 50% in order for it to be completed. So please make sure to do that. You guys have been knocking it out of the park, especially lately. A lot of people have been catching up, and I look at the scores and it's great. You take it the first time, you get like, 70%, and then you redo it. And then by about the second or third time, you're getting darn near 100%. So excellent job. Keep that up. Okay. 4, I did a missing assignment. When are you going to enter it into the grade book? Yep. Here's the deal. Let's just imagine a situation. I've got 5 different classes and I got 5 different quizzes, and kids are making this stuff up. Okay. So if you finish it at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I might not check it until much later. So I would say wait a 24-hour period. Now, again, that for your parents' sake, they might be like, it still says missing. And I totally get that. Okay. If you're a person who's like, that needs to be entered sooner, just be like, hey, Mr. Fuller, I did this. Could you please enter it as soon as you can, because my parents need to know that it's in. Okay. I can do that. Don't send me in a message just like, Fuller, it's done. Enter it. Like, okay, I'm a human. Please treat me like one. But I'm busy, and I'll get the stuff in, but I'm not constantly checking all day long to see if kids are getting things in. And unfortunately, when you finish it, it doesn't automatically enter the grade book. If it did, that'd be phenomenal, because you would get that instantly. But usually about 24 hours. If you need it sooner, send me an email and just politely say, hey, could you enter this? My parents want this. Or if you've gone over 24 hours, I have gotten some emails being like, hey, Mr. Fuller, did that? Did I complete that? And most time is a yes, and it's a mistake on my part. But there's been a couple times when people didn't have something done. So check that, okay? Are we meeting today? Yeah, we'll go just one meeting time, 10 to 11:30, and same times as always. 10 to 10:30 would be psychology. 10:30 to 11 would be world history. 11 to 11:30 is AP psychology. Okay. And shoot, kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, we're not going to do the afternoons meetings because I do have a different meeting for Cougar Connect. If you don't know what Cougar Connect is, you're probably like most people. Cougar Connect is a chance to students can nominate a teacher that they want to connect with, and I host a little like online game show. You can see it on YouTube if you go to my YouTube channel at ntfuller11. So this video goes on NFULLE1. So that's my school YouTube. But if you go to my personal one at ntfuller11, you can see last week's. Last week's we had on Miss Nelson, and Mr. Anderson, and they were nominated by Aaron Brennan and Michaela Stanley. Okay, so we had a fun time. It was pretty fun. If you have someone if you have a teacher that you want to connect with, put their name on a list, and let's do it, okay? Because it is a good time. So I got that later on today, and you can look for today's episode on YouTube later this weekend. And this week's teacher guests are Mrs. Weibel and Miss Silvers, okay? So it should be a pretty good time if you want to check that out. Next week, we're back at it. We are learning. We're moving forward in AP Psychology. We'll be reviewing we're going to progress towards that AP exam. If you have questions about the AP exam, let's get to that next week. We will, in regular psychology, we'll be finishing up with sensation and perception, hopefully. And then in world history, we're continuing with World War I. We'll probably wrap that up next week, okay? Finally. Oh, yeah, big time important. I do have a survey for you today. Survey. I'm going to link it to this entry or to the Google Classroom page. Please take the survey. That's your assignment for this weekend, although it is anonymous because I want you to write what you actually feel, just like, how are things going in this class specifically, but also just in general for distance learning. Okay. So make sure to take the survey. If you're missing anything, get it done over the weekend. And have a good weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. And we'll see you again next week. Questions, comments, concerns, 10 to 11:30. Hit me up on the Google Meets, okay? With that, you guys have a great Friday. We'll get out of here.